Welcome back to Open Line. We have with us James Smallwood, President of the Fraternal Order of Police, the police union. We kind of set the table for the discussion in the first segment there. Not surprising, we have several phone calls. So let's go to the phones. Let's go to Reverend Fuzz. Reverend Fuzz, are you there?
Hey, good evening, and Officer Smallwood. Listen, you know what? I wanted to throw in because I've attended the police ComStat meetings for the past 5 years, and many times I'm the only civilian in that room, and some of our pastor friends have gone, but over those years I got to know flush to flush and face to face as many as 40 policemen in the city. And I would say to folk, it's different when you get to know folk. We're judging this police department and making judgments about the police, and we've never actually met interpersonally or spent time interpersonally with anyone on the police force or met their leadership. When I go there on Friday, I'm looking at, I say, wow, these got to be the smartest guys in the nation. I mean, there's some brilliant leaders in that police department, people who have PhDs, law degrees, and in the black community, when you talk about, you know, the police are against the black community, I know probably 4 of the commanders in Nashville over the police precincts. Those are African-American men and women who are very educated, highly trained. They go to church. They're compassionate men. They care. And when you get to know these folk, we've got to learn how to let some of it go. And I do see problems, but that's what the chief said. Reverend, we got some problems in our police department, but we need the public to help us to identify some of those problems. And when I called Don Aaron saying, what can we do to help? Don will always come up with so many things that the police is doing to reach community. When I go to those meetings, they talk about, like, we made 300 community meetings in the past month. That kind of thing. And then they got the Police Citizens Academy where people can go and learn about police. And then again, that meeting on Fridays, every Friday, is open to the public where you get to see what each precinct is dealing with in terms of crime from the last week and how it compared to last year and what their strategies would be for the upcoming week. One time I heard Commander Donegan say that, let's see, 12%, a small group of folk are doing 90% of the crime. We're going to focus on that small group of folk. I said, wow, that sounds like a good idea. But a lot of things, what I'm saying, are out there that are good in our police department. They do have some problems, and I think they say that, and they're saying the public needs to help. But I'm hearing too much from the public where they're disparaging the police. I hear police saying, and I want to get on that, the police who say, we can't do our job because we don't have support. I want to think that police are professionals and experts. They're folk who say, I'm going to get the job done, and I'm going to be nice to folk and support the public. I can think of many negative experiences I've had with police, but I decided to let them go. So
Reverend Fuzz,
comments. I'm going to cut off.
Okay, yes. All right, thank you, Reverend Fuzz. I'll let you comment.
Sure, a couple things. Well, Reverend Fuzz, I agree with you. I think we need to work towards better community relationships with our police officers and the community, and the FOP is working on something very big that's coming very soon, and I hope that you'll be a part of that. We don't have all the details hammered out yet, but we certainly are working very diligently on it, and we hope that it'll be announced very soon. The other thing on that is I want to be very careful in talking about police officers being able to do their job. Officers are going out there and they are doing the job every single day, and they're working harder than they ever have. We are not saying that because we're not supported we can't do the job. We're saying that because we're not getting the support we need, it is very difficult to do the job, and some of our police officers are disheartened, and they're making that decision, that personal family decision as to whether or not they want to stay here with Metro or go somewhere else and work where they feel like they have support. And when they make that decision, especially right now, we certainly can't fault them, but our police officers are coming to work every single day. They are working as hard, if not harder, than they ever have, and they're being asked to do more than they ever have, and you should rest assured in that fact.
All right, let's go to Ann. Ann on line 1. Hello, Ann.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Good evening. The SOP has been, or has taken the campaign to the airways. How much has the SOP spent on their anti-COD campaign, and what percentage of their annual budget is that?
The Anti-Community Oversight Board campaign.
Yeah, the anti-COD campaign.
Okay. There were commercials, I guess, during
Sure.
there was obviously an election, and the public voted with a fairly large majority for Community Oversight Board. There was an election. I guess her question is, how much did you spend on those commercials?
It would be very difficult for me to answer that question without looking at the budget. Somewhere it was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund that campaign. We certainly wanted to have a well-funded and well-informed campaign that is open for public records. All you have to do is go down to the Election Commission's office and ask for the disclosure forms, which we file on a timely basis. So if you want that information, it's certainly available. You're certainly welcome to call me after I've had time to review the report, but just drawing it from the top of my memory, I'm not sure.
So Ann has brought that up, Community Oversight Board. That's now a reality. What do you think about that? What do you think about the people that have been named to the board? Obviously, you were opposed to it before. Has anything changed now that we know who the board is? Who's going to be on the board? Kind of what do you think about where things are now as far as Community Oversight Board?
Well, not much has been done. Certainly, we had a couple of our nominations appointed to the board, and we were happy to see that. But it's still very early for us to say, what direction is this headed? What's being done? I think they're still establishing their rules and procedures, and they're having very frequent meetings and trying to find their way and get things settled. So until that gets a little bit more, there's a little more knowledge base there, and they get a little bit more firm footing, it would just be difficult for me to say how that's going. Okay.
All right, let's go to David. Hello, David?
Hello?
No, I'm sorry. Mike. Mike, go right ahead.
Yes. Thank you for having this discussion. We have a wonderful police department. We have a wonderful city. Some glaring situations need to be pointed out, however. If you look at the silence of the mayor and the chief of police coming straight forward without equivocation, supporting this department, supporting the all the facts that are being levied by the news media and certain groups that want to try to convict the police department, where are the official voices in the city defending this police department? When will the mayor, when will the chief of police try to give a balanced approach to the citizens of Nashville so that they can see the wonderful work that is being done in Nashville by these public officials to provide protection, without which we would have a jungle in Nashville? The very safety and livelihood of our citizens ride on the back of these policemen, and I want to thank them, and I want to let us all stop and pause and see what's missing here. Where is the political leadership in Nashville? Where's the council? Where are the people who are responsible for supporting this department in these times of crisis, rather than just throwing the raw meat to the scavengers and watch the news media tear them apart?
Well, now, people would say, it's interesting to me, you put in the police chief there. People would say they do support the police department. Certainly the mayor would, the council would, and certainly the police chief would. What do you mean by support? I mean, are you talking about this one case and they need to, because that's now in the criminal justice system. Is it something bigger? What do you mean?
I'm talking about his office having a team that gives a balanced approach, balanced response to the citizens of Nashville.
His office meaning the police chief?
The police and the mayor should organize a administrative team to make sure that the balanced reporting of the incidents are given to the citizens of Nashville.
And now, I know other people would say that's there, and some would say that they go too far on the other side. But I'll let you comment on that. What do you have to say about what he's saying?
Well, we've certainly heard from some of our members that feel the same concerns that he does. a lack of a voice rather than standing up and saying our police officers are right, our police officers are doing their job. Some of our membership feels that is lacking from our leadership, whether it be the chief's office or the mayor's office. So certainly understand his questions. I can't answer them. I'm neither the chief or the mayor, but they should be out there every day supporting their officers and pointing out to the community that when their officers are right, they're right. And that's crucial for our community to understand that their leaders support them.
All right, let's go now to David. Hello, David.
Hey there.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Officer Smallwood, I would just like to say thank you to you and the other members of the FOP, our fine, upstanding police officers that are protecting our city from these people that seek to harm all of us. You're the only thing that keeps us from falling into an abyss, and I appreciate the stability that you guys provide us. But it seems to me that the police department is being held accountable for something that you guys should never be held accountable for, and that is that the destruction of the family that led to like Michael Hambrick's events. And if we look at what's happened to the family for that small segment of our population, that's what's creating all these difficulties with their crime stats. Can you tell me what your comments are about that?
So that's interesting.
Yeah,
Destruction of the family. All right.
There's certainly a lot of social and economic shortfalls that create the environment in which a police officer has to intervene. Unfortunately, while those environments are created where we have to intervene, those are not our responsibility to solve, and it would be impossible for any police officer, any police department to solve a socioeconomic problem. We are here to protect and serve the community. We will do that to the best of our ability. Socioeconomic problems need to be supported by local, state, federal governments, and we need to find a way to solve the family issues and all the other issues that surround police intervention. Certainly that's an issue, but it's not one we can solve. We're law enforcement. We're not social economic enforcement. So.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Let's go to Rika. Hello, Rika.
How you doing?
Fine. What's on your mind?
I have a couple of things to say. One, I remember seeing the chief of police saying it wasn't against the law to run, so I don't see why he was chased. Two, he wasn't the target. They had admitted that he wasn't the target. And three, before they lost the tape, we never seen him point a gun at their police officer. And I don't understand how y'all can spend money on a FOP campaign, but we still have no body cameras.
Okay. All right. Thank you. There's a lot there. I'm interested in the body camera. If you want to comment on the other things, then we'll do the body camera. What about what she's saying there?
So he was in fact wanted for a felony offense, and that is why Officer Delkey pursued him. It's not illegal just to be running, but it is illegal to be a convicted felon with a gun. It's illegal to run from a police officer when you're wanted for investigation on a felony offense. So certainly there are a lot of things involved in that show that he was running away from a police officer and should not have been. On top of, I'm trying to remember her second question. Can you help me remember that?
He wasn't the target of the investigation.
Well,
I believe that
correct.
means he was actually following someone else.
No, that's actually factually untrue, and it's proven through video evidence that is the car he was following. That car that pulled in shows that Daniel Hambrick was the driver of the white Impala he was following. Officer Delkey just happened to pull into a different entrance. He saw the tail end of a different white car come in that attracted his attention, but the distraction there is this is what the narrative that the district attorney is pushing out. It's not true. He was following the white Impala. Daniel Hambrick was driving that white Impala, and he was wanted for a felony offense, and Andrew Delkey pursued him for that. The fact that you can't see him pointing a gun at Officer Delkey on camera is not a admission or conviction of guilt. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. There's already been proof in court that there was a 2 or 3 second void in the camera space. There's also some evidence that supports the fact that these cameras do what's called predictive framing. So they will actually show frames in their video that never happened because it's a low quality, low resolution, grainy video from about 200 feet away, high on the building. That video is very low quality. The ME's report shows that Daniel Hambrick was turning by the bullet trajectory going from right to left throughout his body. So the evidence supports Andrew Delkey's statements. Anything beyond that is just speculation, and to speculate that somebody's guilty simply because the void of the video isn't there, that's not appropriate.
This is such a difficult issue, and one that's maybe shouldn't play out so publicly, but it's so public. A couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Jacola Lane, who is with Community Oversight Now, asked her about this because I knew I was talking to you for a story that we were doing, and I want to try and present both sides here. Let's play part of what she said when we're talking about the shooting, and then we'll come back and talk about that.
That video and were, you know, shocked. I mean, he got shot in the back of his head. That is not normal, and we should not act like it's normal, and it's completely traumatizing for a community to see over and over, and for us to not have even conversations about the trauma that caused, and the people in that neighborhood who witnessed that, and the people across Nashville who saw that and witnessed that. I think that is problematic in more ways than one, but it causes more issues within the community when they see this happening, and the police department immediately coming to defend even before we got anyone got facts.
So the first part of that, she said, in that video, he shot from behind, he shot in the back of the head. That's not normal. What do you have to say? I mean, that's what people are saying. And
well, it's certainly not normal to see somebody who has been shot in the head or has been shot anywhere. That's abnormal for society on a day-to-day basis. I agree with her on that. It doesn't mean that Officer Delkey was wrong. There's nothing in that statement that she made that discounts the fact that Daniel Hambrick had a loaded gun and he pointed at a police officer, and the police officer had no other opportunity, no other option but to protect himself and the community at large. Yes, what we saw was abnormal. What we saw was traumatic for the community. It was traumatic for the officers. It was tragic for the family, no doubt. But it doesn't mean that Officer Delkey is wrong. If you have a gun in your hand, you refuse to drop the weapon, and you point it at a police officer, there's usually only going to be one result. And if you don't mind, I'd like to go back to, we skipped over the body camera comment.
Right, let's do it.
I will take just a few seconds. The FOP has been in support of body cameras since their inception. The only thing that we have said is, A, you need to equip all the officers with the best equipment, and they all need to receive the equipment. And B, we don't want it to economically impact our employees. Cost of living adjustments would be one of those economic impacts. It's a very expensive system. That being said, we are in 100% full support of body cameras. We want them as fast as the community wants them, if not faster, because it's going to exonerate our officers. It's going to show our officers doing the right thing day in and day out. We can't speed up Metro's process. If the FOP could, we'd already have them out.
So you're frustrated there are no body cams?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're going to take a break. If you're on the line, hold on. Reba, Teresa, others. A few lines open if you want to call in. 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.